Hey friends, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Sid, and I'm a high school senior who's interested in everything computer science. On this channel, I make videos about machine learning topics, competitive programming, just general case software engineering, productivity, and just a lot of other programming related things. I'm really into programming. So if you enjoy any of those topics, then consider subscribing. According to YouTube analytics, only a small percentage of my viewers are subscribed, and subscribing helps out this channel a lot, and you can always unsubscribe, so do it if you want. So this video is part of my 66 days of data science new video series, and in which I spend 66 days learning data science concepts every day in the hope that I'll come out of the 66 days a better data scientist. If you want to know more, I'll link to the first video from this series in the description below, as well as Ken G's video on the topic, because he's really the guy that came up with this whole 66 days of data idea thing. So for my 66 days of data, I chose to learn the Julia programming language. And you might be wondering, all right, why did you pick Julia over Python? So let's talk. I picked Julia over Python mainly because I've been using Python for a very long time. I've learned a lot of new things in Python, and I just was getting a little bit bored of continuing to use Python. I really wanted to spice things up, maybe get a new perspective on data science concepts, so I picked Julia. I've also heard that Julia is much faster than Python because it's compiled and it's based on the LLVM stuff, and that's really interesting to me because I like fast languages. Also, Julia was written with scientific computing in mind, and I don't think Python was, so that's another factor. I want to do scientific computing, data science, and machine learning, and Julia is meant to be excellent for that. And I'm really excited to explore that. I still use Python every day, though. It's still a great language, but I just want to experiment with Julia. So let's talk about what I did today on day 2 of my 66 days of data. So yesterday, I wandered into Julia, watched a few videos about the philosophy of the language, and learned a little bit of syntax. That was day 1. And today, on day 2, I delved a bit deeper into the jungle of Julia's syntax, if you will. If you know a scripting language like Python or R, then learning Julia's syntax isn't really hard. It's pretty easy to make the switch. There's a few differences, but overall you'll have a pretty easy time getting used to Julia as a language. The one thing that trips me up sometimes is that Julia starts indexing things at 1, but that'll be fixed with time as I get more used to the language. It also helps that I'm currently using MATLAB a lot for a physics course I'm taking, and that also indexes things at 1, and that's been helping me get used to this a lot. So some things that I really like about Julia so far is that, first of all, like I mentioned already, being a language that is compiled means that it's faster, and I greatly appreciate a language that goes really quickly, and that's why I use C++ for competitive programming. You can write functions in line, so you can just like put the name of the function with its argument, and then say that equals some mathematical expression, and there's your function definition, which is really nice because it's inline and it makes it a lot more readable for other people that might want to read your code. This just makes it easier for me to write mathematical functions, and hopefully easier for other people to eventually read code bases that are right. And another really great thing is that in Julia, you have to explicitly end code blocks with the end keyword, at least some code blocks. I'm not 100% sure yet. And not having to use a colon to signify the beginning of a new code block is interesting, and it reminds me a lot of Ruby and the way you do code blocks in that language. And that particular bit of syntactic sugar is very sweet. I also haven't started doing any linear algebra or machine learning stuff in Julia just yet. I've really only done basic data structures, control flow, conditionals, loops, and variables and functions and all that. So once I do get into linear algebra and machine learning, that's what the language is really supposed to excel with its packages for that, and I'm super excited to do so. Things I don't really like about Julia so far, namely that arrays start indexing at 1, but that's really just me being stubborn and not wanting to adapt to the language, and it really is just, it doesn't make a real difference. It doesn't make a difference at the bottom line, and honestly just makes it easier for people to read the code, and it just makes more sense. I might get flamed for that take, but I think indexing at 1 is fine. Other things that were done data science related today besides learning Julia. I worked on my script for a video I'm making that's going to be an animated explanation of Gini impurity and decision trees. Decision trees are like my favorite machine learning algorithm, and I'm very excited to make the video about them. I'm also planning on starting with machine learning with Julia sometime this week, and I hope that doing machine learning in a language that's not Python, in a language that I haven't been doing it for a long time, will give me a new take on topics in the field and hopefully make it easier for me to explain things to you guys with my animated 3 blue 1 brown like videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and the idea of 66 days of data enough to embark on your own 66 days of data or 100 days of code journey. Like I mentioned, I linked the first video in the series down below, as well as the playlist that will contain every video going forward for the next 64 days. I think I did the math right. As long with Kenji's original video about why he chose to do the 66 days of data journey. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and follow me on my socials. Subscribe to my newsletter, join my Discord, all of which are linked down below. And I hope to see you guys in future videos. And if you have any questions about data science, programming, competitive programming, machine learning, deep learning, leave them in the comments, and I might address them in a future video, but probably just reply to you as soon as you comment, because I'm on my phone and laptop the whole day. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.